We continue with our coverage of the 60th anniversary of the founding of the State of Israel, what Palestinians call the Nakba. First, we look at the events of 1948 from the perspective of an Israeli who fought with Jewish paramilitary units and the Israeli army, participating in the military operations that involved the expulsion of over 700,000 Palestinians. Raised in an ultra-Zionist family, Tikva Honig-Parnass was barely 20 years old in 1948. She was a member of the Haganah paramilitary and the Palmach. Today, Tikva Honig-Parnass is an anti-Zionist leftist writer and activist. She's been involved with anti-occupation, women's, and Mizrahi movements in Israel since the 60s. She was editor of News from Within, the publication of the Alternative Information Center in Jerusalem, for close to a decade. More recently, she founded and edited the periodical Between the Lines with Palestinian activist Tawfiq Haddad. Last year, Honig-Parnass and Haddad came out with a book called Between the Lines, Readings in Israel, the Palestinians, and the U.S. War on Terror, currently working on a book on the Jewish democratic state in the left liberal Zionism. Tikva Honig-Parnass joins us now. We welcome you to Democracy Now!
Yeah, okay. Good morning.
It's very good to have you with us.
Thank you a lot.
Can you go back to 1948? Explain.
Yes, of course I can, but I would like you to allow me to tell in short an event that happened in my grandchild's school just a week ago, which emphasizes that the Nakba of 48 is not only an ongoing process, but that Israel is, the Jewish state of Israel is the vehicle of implementation, advancement, and expansion of the project. I'll tell the story just very shortly. This was the memorial day for the soldiers who were killed in all Israeli wars. It was opened with a child reading from the Bible, saying that God said to Abraham, "Look from the place you are there to the north and south and east and west, because all the land you see I will give to you and your offsprings until in eternity." It's my free translation, but it's typical and it's indicative of the kind of values children are getting, are educating for this to this present. And to see this in the context of Memorial Day is a message given to the children that you must fight, you must make war, because the land is exclusively ours.
Can you talk about your experience in 1948? Could you go back in time, Tikva, and talk about how it is you joined the Haganah and the Palmach, and explain what they are for viewers and listeners who are not familiar?
Yes, but before saying how I enlisted the Haganah and the Palmach and fought and what happened in 48, the listeners have to understand that we were the generation that were programmed to commit the mass expulsion. It was inserted to us with the, as you say, with the milk of our mothers. At school, the Bible in a secular school was taught 5 days a week, as if it is an historical document. And we were already ready when 48 war broke out. We were already indifferent to the Palestinians, not even hating, just indifferent. They became for us a kind of environmental nuisance. So it is a kind of objectivization which prepared us not to care about the expulsion which we saw in front of our eyes.
Where did you see it? Where were you?
I was in Jerusalem. I started university 1 month before the decision of the UN. and I joined the Palmach. And all the area of Bet Jubrin, Bet Jamal, and Zakaria, which are now refugees in the Heyshe and in Bet Jubrin and in camps around Bethlehem, these are camps of refugees who were expelled while the Palmach, in which I was a soldier, occupied and expelled. There is a letter which was published already in many, but it's showing, it's a letter to my parents from October 30, 48, saying, I'm writing the letter on a office stationery of the director of Hartuv oil company station, which fled a few days before I came there. I don't even relate to the fact that I'm writing on someone's stationery. And the story, only I'll tell it in three, which really raises my hair till this very moment, is I'm telling about two American volunteers who came, you know, there were many American volunteers who came after World War II. And they joined our unit. And I'm saying that these are two Americans. They were liberals. We were Zionist left. And that's the decisive difference between us and these two Americans. They were shouting at the evening that they met women and children starving to bread. This is a translation from Hebrew, on their way back to their villages. And they started saying that if this new state can't take care of its resident, there is no justification for it to establish. And what my reaction is that I turn to my parents and I say, dear mother and father, I'm very often sick and tired of these American philanthropes. I don't say humans or with human values. I say philanthropes. And then I go on, of course, with my daily information home as if nothing happened. So what I can say is that it's the climax of dehumanization, not only of the Palestinians, but of us who committed the job with apostrophes.
Tikva Honig-Parnass, for those who say the Palestinians left of their own accord, what is your response?
I didn't get you. The line.
For those who say the Palestinians left of their own accord in 19...
No. What do you mean on their own accord? No, of course not. Already we know now. Already not only new historians, but even Benny Morris, who justifies the ethnic cleansing. Already we know that it was a pre-planned Dalet, which was to evacuate the land. So it will be with a Jewish majority, because according to the UN decision, there was half and half Jews and Palestinians. So it's you know, the ridiculous thing is that after all we know, only 2 weeks ago, a very fine person like Uri Avneri, who really fights against occupation, or 67 occupation, repeats the Zionist narrative that the plan wasn't aimed at cleansing the land, but because of military considerations. So after all this information, which is pouring from the most serious, not only Palestinians, which Israelis don't respect, all this, you'll ask everyone here in Palestine, in Israel, and they will tell you that they left because the leaders of the Arab states encouraged them to leave. But it's no point anymore even going after it, after all these dozens of books which reveal the truth about the Nakba.
Tikva Honig-Parnass, we have to break, but we're going to come back. She fought for the creation of Israel in 1948 with Palmach and Haganah, the paramilitary units that helped to establish the State of Israel. When we come back, we'll also be joined by other guests, including Israeli historian Benny Morris. Stay with us.